For those who don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. For everyone else, welcome back. We are getting ready to wrap up the third, by going by the date, the third week of Orilium. Saturday is the 21st. And I am kind of having an up and down time. I started out the first 2 weeks. It took me the full 2 weeks to read 3 books. And then over the weekend, I blew through 3 more books. I don't even know what it is. It's 2 or 3. I think I'm getting ready to start. No, okay, so it was 3 books the first 2 weeks. 2 books that I read mostly over the weekend. Our third weekend of the readathon. And now I am sitting here thinking we're going to have another slow week. I hope not, because I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more books to go. And I have 11 days. So we're going to hope for the best. And with that, I am going to start this vlog with The Last Lost Girl. This one is by Casey L. Bond, and it is a Peter Pan retelling. I have only done one other Peter Pan retelling, and it was a very, very dark romance. This one, I believe, is also on the darker side, but I don't think it's quite as shocking as the other series was. I'm thinking of that series, and I don't know that there are many books that I would go, oh yeah, that's worse than that. So in this one, in The Last Lost Girls, I did get this from Enchanted Fandom. This was actually our August read, and I just never got around to it. But this one, we have Ava, and she is trying to take care of herself and her sister, who raves about Neverland. She is obsessed with the second star that Ava can't see. Until one night that Belle and Ava get swept away to Neverland, and they find out that not only is Neverland real, but so is Peter Pan. And so I am excited to read this one. A few things with this one that I know are going to keep me in it some is the artwork. I mean, this is just a gorgeous book. All throughout, at just about every chapter break, we have these beautiful thorns or plants all over the tree. So I am going to get started on this for a short time, and then I'm going to have to take a break because I have to do some work stuff. But I'm going to get started on this and get a couple chapters read, and I will update you when I get about a third of the way through the book. Alright, so I'm about halfway through The Last Lost Girl. I'm really enjoying this one so far. It's kind of interesting to see Peter Pan in the villain role and to see Hook in the hero role, even though Hook isn't a good guy. So I'm having a lot of fun with this so far. I think that so far this is reading very much like a high 4-star book. I'm thinking at this point 4.75 is where I'm leaning, but we'll see what happens in the last half of the book and if that's going to pop that rating up.
Hello. Oh my god, I'm late. Had started earlier, set up, and still have.
Alright, so I am about 3/4 of the way through The Last Lost Girl, and I am loving this. We have gotten glimpses of Neverland. We've gotten glimpses of islands that are around Neverland. And we're even starting to get some glimpses into the past. And it's definitely really intriguing. And I really want to find out what's going to happen. And I've already kind of gotten the context of the title, or where the author did the title from, so that's really neat. But I am expecting us in this last quarter of the book to really get to that end of finding out what Tinkerbell is up to, along with some of the things that Hook and Ava and Smee are thinking / doing going forward, and a little more of Pan. He is a very, very not nice character in this book. So I am going to keep reading, and I will check in with you at the end of the book. Alright, everyone, I have finished The Last Lost Girl. I think after all of that, I am going to give this book 5 stars. If you don't like spicy scenes, there is one in chapter 40. It's basically the entirety of chapter 40, and truthfully, you can skip it and not miss anything of the story if you don't want the spice. Overall, I'd say it's 2 to 3. Chili peppers, and you do have that some of that graphic, but it's not the spiciest that I have read. But I had a really good time with it. It does end a little bit on a cliffhanger, so I'm hoping that Casey L. Bond is going to have a second book for this. But it was fantastic. I am so excited. with where this went, and really, really had a great time with it. So, I am going to have to pick another book now. The book that I think I'm going to go with next, if I can find it, is The Sea Witch. And this one is Avril saves a young man from the shipwreck who she thinks is her one true mate. And so she is going to go to this sea witch to get his help. And this one is a fantasy romance, so I have a feeling we're going to have a little bit of a love triangle here, but I am definitely here for the fun. So, I am hopefully going to wake up a little bit here. It is 4 o'clock. Shouldn't be too sleepy. I am going to move over to that book, and I will check in with you guys soon with an update. So I am now almost a third of the way, 32% in to Sea Witch. In this one, I'm really, really liking the way that the author did this. We have Avril, who is basically Ariel. And then we have the Sea Witch, who is a gender swapped version of Ursula. But he's trying to get his revenge on Ariel's father, or Avril's father, I'm sorry. It's not actually The Little Mermaid, it's just a retelling. He's trying to get revenge, but he's not. I don't see maliciousness in his revenge, or beyond the revenge. He's not mean to Avril. He, even as he's helping her, we see this side of him. We just got through a point where Avril and the Sea Witch are kind of bantering back and forth. They get in like a little name calling contest. She's like, stop calling me love. Whatever you say, shrimp, brute, minnow, ghoul, trickster. So there's some kind of fun parts to it. One thing I'm really liking, though, is we have the prince. Let me flip back and get his name. Prince Karen. Kerrin. And the part that I'm enjoying with this storyline is that it is not all it's not the Disney tale that we are all so used to. Because, and the reason I say that is because we have Prince Karen, and we really see his character. He is not this half of a character that we see in the Little Mermaid. You know, the Little Mermaid, he's the traditional prince, but we really see his spoiled side in this, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So I'm gonna get back to reading and see where this goes. But even Avril is starting to see it, and it's kind of that I am enjoying the love at first sight isn't always love at first sight. So I'm gonna get back to it, and I will check in later. I am just over 60% of the way through The Sea Witch, and I'm enjoying this book, but man, it had some spice that I was not expecting to that extent. There's some definite high points in it. Overall, though, the parts that I'm really enjoying have nothing to do with the spice. The parts that I'm enjoying are the plot around it, and it just, in the case of this book, the spice feels unnecessary. Yeah, and that's not something that I'm quite used to, I guess, in a lot of my reading. Many of the things I read, the spice has a purpose, and in this one it doesn't further the plot. But we've kind of come to, or we're getting to the climax of the book. Avril has seen the prince's true colors and thinks she sees the sea witch's true colors. And we're kind of seeing the sea witch make some changes in his thoughts. Not as much as maybe you would think or expect at this point, but I'm definitely seeing a battle in the future with himself. But I am still enjoying this. I'm leaning toward a low 4-star, maybe even lower. I don't think it's going to be much, that it's going to end up higher than 4 stars. Just because there are parts that just aren't hitting me right. And without spoiling anything for you, I don't want to explain that too much. So, but I need to go to bed and get ready for tomorrow. So I will check in with you guys at the end of the book. Alright, so I have now finished The Sea Witch. And this is such a cute happily ever after ending. It has some spice that I wasn't fully expecting. This book is not marketed, or at least, let me double check before I say that. I don't remember seeing erotica on the list. Yeah, it's just a fantasy romance. So I wasn't expecting as many spicy scenes as there are, but I had a good time. Anyway, I really enjoyed seeing the Sea Witch as a male and kind of the getting his side of the story. Would I have enjoyed this as much if it were Ursula? Probably. Not in a romance way, but if seeing Ursula's backstory and who she is, especially with the changes that our Sea Witch in the Sea Witch makes. It kind of is that there is a little misunderstanding, a politically charged misunderstanding, and when you read it, you'll understand that probably better. But I truly had such a good time. Am I going to read others by this author? I'm not sure. Now that I know how this author writes, I might. She does Maleficent and The Nameless Trickster. So I think that's going to be like Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, Rumpelstiltskin. So in the description, it does say that they are spicy grown-up fairy tales. So going into that, knowing that it's there is going to be a very different feel and approach to it. So I am going to end here for tonight, and I will let you guys know soon what I'm reading next. Alright, I have picked my next book, and I am 33% through it. Haven't yawned for an hour and then turn the camera on and I yawn. I am reading Sea of Souls by N.C. Scrimminger. I was kind of hoping it had an audiobook, but it does not. So far, I'm enjoying this. This is a fantasy, and it definitely reminded me of why I have the 25% rule. And my 25% rule is simply this. If I'm reading a book, I try to read at least 25% of it before I DNF. Because, especially in fantasies, there's so much world building. This is taking place in Scotland. So not a lot there, but but it does have Selkies and other fantasy creatures in it, and so along with magical creatures or magical people with magical abilities. So there's some of that which takes a little to build up, but I was really struggling in the first about 15% of this book, and then things start happening, and so far it's been boom, 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 things going on, and now I am just enjoying this. I wish that it had an audiobook, only because I was hoping it would keep me in the book. I keep getting distracted by notifications on my phone or the cats running through here, and it distracts me. So this book is about a girl named Isla who is expected to be the next lady of their be the next Blackborn lady, and she doesn't want to do it. And so she runs away and lives on becomes a seafarer, lives on a ship and does all of that stuff. And then she gets a letter from her mother saying that there's a secret that her mother wants to share with her. She comes home only to find she is there too late. And then Selkies attack her home while she's visiting, and her father is killed. And she and her brother are escaping this, and they are joined by two Selkies, and now the humans and Selkies are working together, kind of in a enemy of your enemy is, or yeah, the enemy of your enemy is my friend. I think I said that right. Anyway, so they have an alliance. This brother, sister, and these two Selkies to work together and vanquish this new enemy. So I am enjoying it so far. It feels very YA. I don't mind that it's if it's YA, it feels YA, but I think it's marketed as an adult, which is why I'm struggling just a little bit with staying as focused as I would like. But I'm going to get back to it, and I will check in soon. Hello, everyone. So here we are. It is technically October 1st. And I just finished Sea of Souls. Oh my goodness, I'm so in love with this book. Selkies and humans come together to defeat a force that is harming both of them. And I loved this story. We have a lot of banter between the male-female character and the main female character and the main male character. There's a little bit of romance in it, but the fantasy is the main part. And I had so much fun with this. Once I got to the 50% mark, and from 50% on to the end, I did not want to put it down. I read 45% roughly yesterday, and the only reason I stopped when I did was I could not keep my eyes open any longer. I had less than an hour left of reading the book. So then this morning I had a smidge of time and I read a little bit. And then I got home and finished it. There is just so much in this book that I enjoyed. I loved the fantasy and the world building. It kind of takes place in our world and yet not. It is very Scottish folklore. And everyone has the Scottish burrs and that that accent, and it really I love the Scottish any Scottish story apparently. Um, now, the next one is coming out this year. Let me see if it's already out. I don't know that it's already out because Kindle didn't do the read next with that title, but that could just be that the author does not have it on Kindle yet. So let me look. This is the Sea of Souls saga. Okay, yeah. The next one is not out. It'll be Mist of Morning, I think. So I am looking forward to that, and I'm just gonna have to keep my eye out because I am going to want to pick that one up as soon as possible. The only thing that might keep me from picking it up as quickly is the fact that it may not be available on KU right away, and that's okay too. But using scrolls is the only way I'm going to finish this month's TBR for the Magical Readathon, and I need to do that to collect my 50 points and to be able to move up into the next part. And so I am looking at the Guild Emporium. I know for Sea of Souls, I'm going to do the continuation, I think is what it was. Scroll of Extension. And that one allows me to give an extra month to finish the book. This one only works on books that I had already started in September. So that's 10 points. And then I am going to use the Scroll of Scholarly Power so that I can count where the phoenix the forest where the phoenix sleeps as several different prompts. It will fit in the phoenix on the cover, which I was going to try to read. I was going to try to read the second in the Cerulean Sea, which is Somewhere Beyond the Sea. So where the forest where the phoenix sleeps is going to be for that one. It's also going to be for my restoration D level, because it has a verb in it when this I was going to use what makes us mighty, but when the forest where the phoenix sleeps will count for that. And then I can also use the forest where the phoenix sleeps for my restoration, which was a night sky on the cover. So that's going to require me to use 45 more points for those. But that also being said, I still have one book I have to finish, and that's The God of the Woods. That was the only book I had that was published in July, which is my birth month. So I'm going to have to spend another 5 guild reputation points to get a letter of fate, which is going to grant an extension on the studies, and I can complete the semester on my own, at my own pace, with no time restriction, deadlines, or additional stress. So that's going to be a total of 45, in addition, uh, including the scroll of continuity. Um, and so I was just double checking. Oh, my phone just died. I was trying to double check that none of the other scrolls would have helped, but that I don't think that they would have. So I am going to move on to The God of the Woods. I do have that one on audiobook, so I've got to charge my phone back up and listen to it. That way, I am really excited for this one. The premise of this is it's a summer camp, and the wealthy owners of the summer camp have had their daughter disappear during the night, but there's also another kind of twist in it, and years earlier, the girl's brother had also disappeared. So I'm going to start this one. How far I get into it tonight, I'm not sure. I'm a little concerned starting this one tonight because I have been told that this is not a book that you want to read after dark. So, will this book end up in my freezer? Who knows? I'll let you know. I'll talk to you soon. Alright, so I kind of abandoned the camera this week. At any time that I would have updated, I didn't feel like updating. So I didn't update at all in reading The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I went into this one a little bit apprehensive because I had read another Liz Moore book, The Unseen World, which I did not like near enough, I guess. It had a lot of things kind of woven in there that just weren't my cup of tea. A lot of tropes. But The God of the Woods, I enjoyed a lot more. Now, a couple differences is this one is a mystery thriller, a historical mystery thriller. So I enjoyed that part, and I'm definitely in the mood for those. Right now, with it being September, October, the burr months, I'm definitely down for those. The other thing is I listened to this one on audio. I had the book. There were a few times I opened the book and followed along. But for the most part, I just listened to the audio. The narrator was amazing. I really enjoyed her pacing and everything. Now, I do have to say I do listen to it kind of fast, so I listened to this one at 1.7 speed, and so the pacing, even at that speed, was good. I know there are some books that I will put up at that speed, but it will kind of skip over words. This one did not do that at all. So, the premise of this is a 13-year-old goes missing from camp, and it as a camp counselor, that's going to panic you. But what panics everyone more is it is the wealthy owner's daughter who has gone missing, and their son went missing from the same property 13 years before. So there's a lot of kind of pieces going on in here that kind of get you thinking and trying to figure out what's going on. I did not expect the way that this book ended. I really thought it was going to go a different way. Other readers of mystery and thriller may pick up earlier on what's going to happen, but Liz Moore is really good about putting a lot of red herrings in there. So, enjoyed it, and that marks the end of my Orilium readathon. And I can't remember if I said earlier, I did use several scrolls for this. I used the scroll of continuation to start a book early. I did need to use the scroll of scholarly power to make one book fit 3 prompts, which I kind of thought we were going to go that way. Anyway, because 12 books in September is a lot for me while I'm teaching, especially while I'm teaching a new class. And then the third scroll I used was the one that allowed me to, I can't remember what it's called, but it allowed me to continue books. Or I continued the book I had going, and then I did use the Letter of Fate at the very end to allow me to start and continue The God of the Woods with a month longer, or without a deadline, because there was no way that I was going to be able to get this done in that time frame. But I had a blast with this readathon, and I can now say that I have completed year 2 of Wild Form Druid, and I can't wait for the studies coming up next spring. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.